What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Let's talk some football. Happy Sunday, and we have a huge, exciting slate within this NFL card as we kick off Week 7. A lot of games that are going to be ones that we're going to want to watch even if you don't have action on it, but this is going to be a Sunday full of action. I'm going to give you guys my full entire betting card, and please watch till the end of this video and not just jump ahead to the end of the video where I do show you guys my full card because this is going to be a lot of content, a lot of information. We're going to run through the board, and if you haven't done so already, guys, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe right down below. I appreciate you guys all being part of the team here. And if you have not joined as a channel member, please do so because that may be one of the things that I do unravel as we get closer to the NFL football season, kicking off with kind of this sports equinox. It's going to be approaching before we even know it, where we do have the hockey arena as well as basketball, college basketball, amongst all other sports running concurrently. It's going to get exciting. It's going to pick up steam, and this is exactly why we're here, because we want it all. And last night, just to touch base on the college side of things, that was an outstanding game within Georgia. Fortunate enough, I was on a kind of crazy play where I did take a little alternate line with Georgia laying the points. If you guys watch my videos within the college game, that was one of the bets that I thought was a completely bad number. I didn't really, quite frankly, understand. Texas has a good team. I just don't understand why they were getting so much credit on that Saturday night game that we saw from Austin. So great game, great Saturday of football. It really was. So let's keep it going into Sunday where we're going to get down into the picks, and we are going to get it going with Outlier. And guys, if you do not follow me on X, make sure you guys do because I do post things and picks there from time to time, more so in the prop realm and in terms of injuries and all that good stuff that keeps you in the loop in what's going on. So make sure you follow me on X. The handle is down below in the description as well as the bottom left of your screen. And let's scroll up Outlier. Now, Outlier is one of my favorite tools that I use to make my bets, and this is the one we're going to use today because we are going to make the best bets possible. And let's get this streak going. Joey will have an anytime touchdown video coming out very shortly too, so make sure you turn on that notification bell so you do get that video when I drop. Apologies, this is coming out late, but we'll have enough time before 1 o'clock, and I do not bet the London games just out of principle, so there you go. So it'll be really rare, and I would have to love a game for me to be able to bet that, but this is one where if I did have to, I would be all over the Jaguars. That is London's team. Seems to be used to it. They've been out there for a week, and I do think they bounce back and get this one done against the Patriots, okay? But let's get into that first game, all right? And the first game outside of London is going to be a returning of Saquon Barkley to the Giants, all right? Now, this is a very fascinating matchup, and if you guys aren't ready for it, guess what? Here it comes. The Saquon props will be live, okay? In the last 5 games, it's truly warranted as well. In the last 5 games, he has outpaced 100 yards rushing and receiving combined in 4 of his last 5 games, averaging about 115 rushing and receiving per game. If you guys need to go back in time and understand what was going on within this debauchery within the Saquon contract situation, you remember the Hard Knocks episode, there might be some bad blood on both sides, but from all accounts, Saquon's a stand-up dude, and I think that when we talk about this game, I think that Saquon's going to deliver. And if you don't know Nick Sirianni, he does not care around the goal line, but this is where we're going to go into the anytime touchdown market, where I believe that this is going to be one of my best bets that I'm going to possibly even play up to 2 touchdowns, where I'm going to play a Saquon kind of same gamer, right? So we're going to take the Philadelphia Eagles on the win. We're going to take them in terms of the Saquon anytime touchdown, as well as the Saquon over rushing and receiving and receptions for that matter. I think they just truly feature them. And this is a divisional game. So it's not like, you're getting traded across the country to go play on the West Coast for the AFC West or like the Chargers or something. You're staying in division. You're playing your rival. And this is going to be a game where I think it's going to be very, very rowdy, especially because they'll be in New York. So we know Giants fans, it'd be a little different if the shoe was on the other foot and he was coming back to the Eagles, but it's still going to be rough and rowdy there down at MetLife. So interested in that one. I'm going to have that one on for sure. 1 o'clock game. We see the majority of the money on the Eagles. I don't love it. I got to be honest with you guys. I don't love it. I know what Danny Dimes is able to do, but for me as a bettor. This is kind of one of them sneaky spots where last week, it was a get-right game for the Eagles, but every bone in my body wanted to take the Browns' money line going against the Eagles, and there was nothing about the Browns I liked in that game. I don't like the Eagles. I don't trust them in the red zone. I don't trust them down the stretch. I don't trust Sirianni. This is not the team that, should have delivered in the Super Bowl outside of pride that we saw a couple years ago. Okay. Also in this spot, we do get the under in the last 10 games with the Giants at home. The under is hit in 80% of those games. So if I did have a play in this game, I would lean towards the under, as well as I do like the Eagles in terms of Saquon Barkley. But I'm kind of loving the Giants +3, and that's not something that I do dabble in. So I'm kind of an anti-Giants player. You always hear about the sharp bettors. The professionals are on the Giants. They don't play teams. They play numbers. I feel like every time I hear that, the Giants end up losing the game. So I'm not a Giants guy, never have been, never will. But I do, actually I take that back. When Eli Manning was there and they had Brandon Jacobs, we used to bet the Giants a lot, especially against Tony Romo and the Cowboys. Those were some good old days. But I digress. Let's get back into it because we have a lot of games to talk about. Next one on the card will be the Lions and the Vikings. Now, the Lions and the Vikings, this is probably going to be one of my marquee games of the day. Obviously, if you guys aren't living under a rock, you know that the Lions, the Lions are absolutely churning the football over. Okay, and what I mean by that is, you get David Montgomery close to the goal line. It's almost a systematic approach where they just take it. He's getting over his longest rushing yards. That right now is set at 12.5. David Montgomery at the goal line. That's almost money. We look at Jahmyr Gibbs. We can talk about him getting his longest rush. It's like they utilize Gibbs in a way where it allows Montgomery to be Montgomery. It's a very fascinating kind of offense they have. I believe it's Ben Johnson down there in Detroit. But I just truly like Goff. If you talk about him and his tenure down in out west with the Rams, he went from one of the most turnover-prone quarterbacks that I've ever bet on or for or in my viewing experience within the NFL to being one of the most kind of the opposite. So, and you wouldn't expect that with a traditionally Detroit offense, okay? But what they got going on, they are kind of my closet team for the Super Bowl. And I think that Dan Campbell has kind of gotten over his his mishaps as a head coach, those early on fourth down decisions and oddball plays that, it seems like every week we had Dan Campbell on the microphone above the stage giving his press conference. So that seems to be receding a little bit, which is a good sign for Lions backers, okay? But in this game, I am on the Detroit Lions +1.5. That will be my best bet. We'll look at some of the betting splits here. A lot of people are on Minnesota. Traditionally, I don't bet these kind of like coin flip games, if you will, but when they are very publicly traded, and what I mean by that is there's going to be a lot of action on both sides, right? There's going to be sharps on Detroit. There's going to be sharps on Minnesota, okay? Now, going against top 10 scoring defenses, Minnesota Vikings have been 2-6 covering that, okay, in their last 6 games against top 10 scoring defenses. And we look at the betting splits here, and I don't use betting splits as the end-all be-all, but in this situation, the Lions on the road, 81% of the money on the Lions, despite having 45% of the bets are on Minnesota. Call it what you want. I really do like what Brian Flores and company in Minnesota are able to do in terms of getting it done. But eventually, you're going to take Sam Darnold, and Sam Darnold's going to become Sam Darnold, okay? And right now, he's an MVP candidate, so shout out to him. I'm never going to root for somebody to fail. However, we are going to make money on the prospects of people and their mishaps along the way, okay? But that's where I go into the category where, I think that we do get a motivated, inspired performance by Detroit in this spot. I think that Aiden Hutchinson being out of this game lends towards the conversation that the Detroit Lions are going to absolutely play motivated. They're going to play with a purpose, and this will be kind of a short-lived purpose because he is going to be a loss for them. But I think that I keep saying the Tigers. I get baseball off my mind. Jeez, oh man. Anyways, I think the Lions roll here, and it might be a field goal close game. But give me the +1.5. We get a little insurance policy at the end of the game in case they lose by a late kick by 1. So that's where I'm at, and I do like the over in the spot. A couple props along the way is also Jameson Williams. Chunk gains for him, over 47 receiving yards for Jameson Williams. That's going to be on my card as well. And that's kind of where I get into a list of props today because there are 4 overs that I just like straight up, okay? And we're going to be talking about them kind of all over the place, so forgive me for my organizational skills, but there are 4 overs I do like, and this is one of them. So more so the totals than the actual spreads in these games. So it's kind of going to be a system play for me. I'm going to have a lot of money out there kind of in a round robin approach where I just want to hit 3 or 4 of those overs, and then we're going to end up being profitable on the day. But I think this is one where we do see a lot of points. So all you prop bettors out there, get ready, buckle up, because this will be a anytime touchdown frenzy in a lot of these contests, okay? Next game out there is going to be another one, and this is on the over card. This is Seattle, okay? Seattle and Atlanta. And we do get Seattle coming in as a plus 143 money line underdog, getting 3 points on the road. The over set at 52.5, get a juiced up 52. For me, guys, this is an over, okay? Also, in this spot, I like Kenneth Walker. I like him a lot. What he's been able to do receiving out of the backfield, we're going to be on Kenneth Walker receiving receptions, receiving yards. So if you guys are liking that, go for it. Let that one rip. And also, if you go into the anytime touchdown market, that has kind of been hit or miss for Kenneth Walker. Yeah, he can get in at any given moment, but for me, guys, it's just something I'm not willing to play. I'm going to stay away from that, okay? But Seattle, 3 and out of their last 9 games on the road, straight up. So, this lens towards taking Atlanta. I do like the Bijan Robinson, Drake London, anytime touchdowns. Those are always on the board. Darnell Mooney, you can look at him over receiving receptions. That's another prop that I do like. But this is going to be a Geno Smith game. Geno rushing the football. He's been vocal about that. Geno rush attempts, rushing the football, rushing yards, pass yards as well, over 200. And I believe the number, last time I checked, the number was set at almost 260. So Geno Smith possibly laddering his passing yards, taking him. This might be a 300-yard performance for Geno. I do like that ball being distributed a lot. I like all the receivers in this spot. Kind of outside of DK Metcalf, I'm going to be more so in line with Jackson Smith and Jigma. We're going to be playing the slot. We like Tyler Lockett as well, and that's kind of where I'm at within this game. So this is on my list of overs. So we are going to be taking the over in this game, 52. It's a big number. Might end up doing a little bit of a teaser here with these totals just to give ourselves a cushion, but just to preface kind of, so you guys can keep track, the 4 overs that I'm targeting, and what I mean by that is I'm targeting them in props, I'm targeting them in anytime touchdowns, and I'm targeting them in fantasy, I'm targeting them, these are the games that I've circled, and we're going to just explode on them. So it's the Detroit Lions game, the Chargers game, Seattle, and the Miami Dolphins game. Those are the 4 games that I'm targeting in terms of a lot of point expectation, in my opinion. Okay, you guys can do what you want. And the next game is Tennessee and Buffalo. This is a no play for me. I think that we do get the likes of the Buffalo Bills hosting the Titans in a tough spot. The overwhelming amount of money is on Buffalo. And that's as noted, okay? One of the bets that we can look into, and this isn't on my list because I like to give out these nuggets to people that watch the video and not actually just jump ahead to the end. So for those of you that are watching, we can look into kind of the questionable tag for Ray Davis there for the Buffalo Bills. So get it while it's hot. I think that he got a lot of goal line work, and if we do get James Cook kind of being James Cook today, then you're going to get a big James Cook a game, okay? But I do think at the value, if James Cook suits up, he's going to return to action, but I do think they throw Ray Davis a bone, so I'm going to put like a small 0.1, 0.2 unit play on Ray Davis anytime touchdown if he suits up, right? So look for that questionable status, and it's a flyer, okay? It's a complete flyer. It has no merit outside the fact that I think that they try to do the man a solid because he absolutely was, I should say, I don't know. It's just one of them games where you kind of want to reward your back at the goal line, and after the way he played, he's going to get some opportunities. I don't think they're going to rush James Cook back into this game, basically, taking the full workload, getting 20 carries. I just don't see it. I think that James Cook's going to get 10 touches at least, and I think he's going to get a lot of goal line work as deserved. Okay, so that's where I'm at. Bills are a great teaser leg. Also, you could look into the Tony Pollard numbers going over 64.5. That's kind of where I'd be at with this. We do get Amari Cooper back in Buffalo for an exciting pairing with Josh Allen. And as a Cleveland fan, Godspeed, God bless him. But this is going to be something where we look into the Bills and getting exactly what they need. And they now have a number 1 receiver. And that'll allow some of their other players to work underneath, instead of just being the key guys. And it's going to open up a lot of doors for Keon Coleman, too, being a young rookie, going to learn from a veteran and one of the best route runners, if not the best route runner in Amari Cooper in the NFL. Okay, next game is the Bengals and the Browns. Now, like I told you guys a little bit, I am a Browns fan. I'm a Browns backer, and I will not watch this game. I will watch the Cincinnati Bengals play because I do like Joe Burrow. And the Browns right now, they're pretty much the scum of the earth, but we can still make money off of them. So let's just get it going here, because the 5.5 that we are seeing after a number opening at -1, this is taking a lot of money. Okay, and we do get Nick Chubb back into the game, but if you guys are familiar with kind of the Joe Burrow curse, okay, he can't beat the Browns, and if you have any kind of you want to apply any kind of randomness to your betting card today, that would be taking the Cleveland Browns, and have no reason to do so. Okay, and this could be a muck-it-up game, ugly as hell. I could see this one even being in the likes of like a 13-10 game. I know, guys. I'm not an idiot. I know Joe Burrow's been throwing it and lighting it up, but there is a Joe Burrow curse that goes on when he plays Cleveland. They're playing in Cleveland. Will he break it today? The total's set at 41.5. The odds makers know why. And if you do need a teaser partner, the Browns plus 5.5 is a sneaky good play. And it's something where I might be on an island with this one. But I will tell you guys, when Joe Burrow plays Cleveland, some of the games that he's lost, I can't really even explain to you why. So it's kind of where I look at it. In the last... go back and look at Joe Burrow's, do a quick little stat muse with Joe Burrow versus Cleveland all time. You're going to really, really be astonished with those numbers that you see. And it's not that he plays bad necessarily. It's just, for some reason, it's like they're his kryptonite. Not an official play for me. However, I will be making a little bit of a sprinkle on Nick Chubb in this game. Nick Chubb comes back into the fold. He will be in my anytime touchdown I do an anytime touchdown parlay card every day. I utilize a boost from FanDuel, and he will be on that card, so that will be my best bet. I do think that Joe Burrow does do well in this. However, I think that the Browns, like I said, are a good teaser leg, as well as the obviously the under in this spot. I think that we do get an under in this game at face value. Okay, next game we are going to get into, this will be the likes of the I believe it was up on the card. Yep, my Houston and Green Bay. This is one of those games that does jump off at the page as a over spot, right? Everybody wants to see it. Jordan Love, C.J. Stroud, over. Not so fast. This is a game where if I had to make a sharp play on it, it would be towards the under, and we probably would get about 50-some points in this game, 50-plus points. Sure, it could happen, right? But everybody and their brother's betting the over. This is a game where I have no problem going under because of the fact that the number has not moved, right? It opened 48.5. We're getting an overwhelmingly amount of money on the over, and we're still stuck at 48.5. Also, this is something where I do see the value in taking Houston plus 3. However, we are going to take minus 2.5. I took that a little bit earlier in the week. Give me the Packers minus 2.5 at home. Trusting Jordan Love. We do get a lot of injuries in this game. We talk about who's available for the Texans. We talk about who's available for in their status, right? Jordan Love back off injury, facing a DeMeco Ryans aggressive defense. But for me, guys, I got to back the Packers here. They got something special going on. Jordan Reed has been absolutely, Jane Reed and Jordan Love, that connection has been very, very promising. And we do have some injuries to go over from the Texans side of things, right? Defensively, they have a lot of linebackers that are going to be missing. So Josh Jacobs, he's going to get his 50-plus yards, possibly a touchdown. And we do see, the likes of, I believe, Tank Dell back into the fold to go along with Nico Collins and that stout receiving core within Stephon Diggs. So, yeah, it just shouts over. But my best bet in this game would be going under Texans, Green Bay. But I am going to lay the 2.5 with Green Bay at home. Kind of a rule of thumb for me, actually. Whenever I do get Green Bay less than a field goal, it takes a lot for me not to bet against them at home. Learned that trick from my grandfather way back in the day, and it does tend to be profitable more times than not. And if I did have to make this as a neutral, and if I bet the numbers, not the teams, I still would like Green Bay. Just full disclosure. Okay, Miami in Indianapolis. This is another game where it's an ugly game because Indianapolis is the worst defense in the NFL. For my money. Coming into the game, though, 5-1 against the spread. So if you do like the Colts here, go for it, right? This is a game I'm going to stay away from. However, with a chain back into the mix, love his prop market. Indiana cannot stop a nosebleed with a tissue. So I am going to go a chain. I do like him anytime touchdown, and I do like a chain with his rushing yards going over. That's kind of where I'm going to be at for that. And when I do tell you guys my anytime touchdown scores, a lot of it is just kind of necessarily just who I like, who I'm leaning towards. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm betting them all. Like I said, I do a lot of anytime touchdown prop parlay cards. So it all is kind of hit or miss. But Tyler Huntley gets a bye week in this matchup. Okay, so it's kind of changing the game. If you get what Joe Flacco, it all changes this narrative. And quite frankly, there's so many better games in the market, right? But you're seeing Anthony Richardson, looks like, and now we get, Tyler Huntley basically with a fully loaded Miami offense in terms of skill position, but they can't score points. But I think this is a sneaky over. I do think Miami is going to light it up. So I do like a chain touchdown. I do like a chain rushing yards, and I do like the over 43.5 just a bit. So that is one of the games that I'm targeting because I do think that as bad as the Colts defense is, I do think that offensively they have the potential to just kind of put up some numbers. So in this spot, I will go over. And I'm going to stay away from the side. But if you force me to bet this game, I would go. I would go with the Dolphins here on the road. Okay. Next game, we talked a little bit about that early one, and this is kind of where we're going to hit the next game on the card, which is the Las Vegas Raiders and the Los Angeles Rams. Now, what's interesting about this is it's a battle of LA, right? And what I mean by that is there's a lot of Raiders fans that live in Los Angeles, and albeit the Raiders are in Las Vegas, that whole kind of weird, if you guys live there, I'm talking about. That's why there's so many fights at these games in the stands, but there's a weird dynamic between the Chargers, Rams, Raiders, and it all kind of meshes together into one big happy family somehow out there in the West Coast. But for me, this is just a simple game where it's Rams and a teaser. If you are going to get down with that, I really think the Raiders are on the verge of quitting on their coach, even though it's something where he's motivated. But I do think the Rams have the upper spot. And if you ask me what the Rams record is right now, I bet you none of you guys would know that they're 1-4 on the season, returning home. And I do think this is something where I really like the Rams. I like Brock Bowers' receiving yards. I like on the other side, if we want to talk about kind of the Kyren Williams market, he scores a touchdown in every game. So it's almost at a point where it's unbettable. Jacoby Myers is one that you have to look for. Is he going to suit up? That's a big storyline there. Also, when we get from Jordan Whittington, that was a tight end receiver, kind of hybrid player there that I did like taking receptions with. We'll see what he's able to do if he's able to suit up with that shoulder. But the biggest storyline here and kind of an insight that I'll give you guys here is that the over has hit in 9 of the last 13 games within the Rams. I don't like it. I don't trust the Raiders here. And as an underdog, the Raiders are winning straight up 28% of the time. So for me, guys, this is a Rams possible blowout spot. It's a big number. I think that it does get to 7.5. For me, it's a dance partner for a teaser. This is a Los Angeles, probably one of the best teaser legs I think of the week would be taking the Rams down to 0. All right, but that's kind of where I'm going to be at for this game. Staying away from it outside of if you want to dabble in a little Brock Bowers or Kyren Williams anytime touchdown. Okay, and 2 games left because we will not talk about the primetime games here. I do that video around the 1 o'clock kick. I will release that for Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Football. Conversely, we will have that out tonight. And this last 2 games we're going to talk about Carolina and Washington. Okay, this is a sneaky overplay. For me, it's an over. I'm not going to bet it because when we talk about the Commanders here, they're due for a little bit regression. 9.5 is too big of a number. If we talk about Carolina plus 9.5, that is a very, very nice dance partner. But Carolina, they had a little bit of steam coming up with Andy Dalton, and that has since kind of just turned into another Andy Dalton shit show. And now the Panthers have been bet up from 3 to 9.5. So this is a game where I'm completely off the board on. I just don't want to see anything crazy going on. I don't even like the props because you are going to get, a lot of running back carries. Chuba Hubbard, that's going to be one of the prop markets I love. I love McLaurin. I don't think that Daniels is going to run as much as people think. I think it's kind of a stay safe kind of game. And Brian Robinson Jr. for the Commanders, getting in the end zone twice against the Browns. Will we get that? They're going to light up the scoreboard as always. Coming off that loss to the Ravens last week. For me and my money with the Commanders, McLaurin finds the end zone, and we do get Chuba Hubbard in the end zone and Brian Robinson. So those are always the three best bets. Two of my favorite teams about anytime touchdowns on, believe it or not. So that's kind of how I would attack this. It's a sneaky over for me, but it's not going to make my card as an official play. And then saving the best for last on the 1 and 4:30 slate is the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers. And this is Andy Reid off a bye, guys. Okay, this is Andy Reid off a bye. We do get a banged-up case San Francisco team that looks to be revitalized. We do get Andy Reid off a bye, and I really can't say. Did I say that we get Andy Reid off a bye? Okay, just wanted to make sure because that's why we're going to be able to take the Kansas City Chiefs. I am going to pay the money, though, okay? I am going to pay the money. I am going to take them a little bit on the money line, okay? I'm going to take them plus 115 on the money line as well as Kansas City. I'm going to buy a little sprinkle here as we buy a point up to plus 3. I don't take twos. I just don't. So if you guys take twos, it's a waste of money. You may as well just take the money line more times than not, but that's kind of how I play it. You guys are welcome to do with what you want. That's just kind of, that's just the same principle as people that take minus 7.5s in college football. It doesn't make sense to me. If you stay around those key numbers, there's a reason why the majority of games end on 3. So that's kind of where I'm at. All right. But in this spot, Kansas City plus 3, Kansas City money line. It's simple as that. We do have a little bit of a love affection there with Travis Kelce. I think that eventually, God willing, God resting, Travis Kelce finds the end zone. Whether he has to throw the damn ball, whether he has to run it in himself, or just catch one of those passes that he's caught almost 500 touchdowns from Patrick Mahomes, going into this game off a bye, 6 weeks. Okay, 6 weeks. 6 weeks of game history, of game logs. 0 touchdowns. Okay, and just to put it in perspective for you guys, I want to do this just so you guys don't think I'm crazy. We are going to go back to 2023, and we're going to look at the 6 games, and I'm going to count them off for you guys, just so you're all aware what happened in this spot. Okay, we had 4 touchdowns through 6 weeks in last year's season. Okay. Travis Kelce, I can tell you one thing. If you do like a little bit of a value play, and I'm not willing to say it's my best bet, but it's pretty damn close. Kansas City games go under. The only thing that makes me worry is that we do get an under in the spot. But when we talk about the 49ers, Chiefs, this should be a primetime game. I don't know what the hell we're doing having this at 4:30, just so we can watch Aaron Rodgers and America's team wave those yellow towels. I mean, that's just insane for me to understand. I mean, I don't mind it because we get to see Devontae Adams and Rodgers back. But, I mean, you're giving me Russell Wilson on primetime with a Steelers thing when it's just a shit show. We need to have this Kansas City-San Francisco game, rematch of a Super Bowl, at least put it on Monday. I mean, we get Baker Mayfield and Lamar Jackson. That game has no merit. There's no reason on earth why Kansas City, San Francisco, or even Detroit, it's just, this is an abomination. I don't know whoever does these NFL schedules. I think they do it because they need to get people away from the Price is Right or something or some daytime TV. But whoever's making us watch the Chiefs 49ers at 4:00 is just out of their mind. Okay, but anyways, it's Chiefs money line, and we are going to be on the Travis Kelce anytime touchdown. Probably one of my best plays for the touchdown market because you know what? I've bet it the last 3 or 4 weeks of these 6 weeks that they've played. So eventually it's going to hit. So we'll just keep playing that little martingale strategy to keep doubling down on Travis Kelce. Eventually, one of these days, he's going to get one into the end zone. So that's where I'm at. Those are my best plays. Here is a little breakdown. If you guys haven't done so, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe down below. Apologies, this is kind of a longer video, but hey, it is a great day to be alive within NFL. And this is kind of where I leave you guys with that. If you want to become a channel member today, links down below in the description. Give back to the TBM team. Forgive me for kind of having too many bets on my card, but I do like a lot within the NFL. So I kind of just put it all in the forefront and I told you guys my best plays that I'll be making along the way. As always, I'll see you over on the Discord. We'll be chopping it up there pretty much all day with all this NFL action. But I appreciate you guys all being part of the team here. Make sure you guys subscribe on your way out, and we'll see you in the next video. Cheers.